going to show you how to take a basic wooden sign from the craft store and prep it for a vinyl decal, and also weatherproof it so that you can hang it outside. Typically, the signs like this that you can get from the craft store don't have any sort of sealant on them. They're usually very light in color, and it might have some little fibers of wood sticking up out of it that peel off really easily. The first time I tried to apply a vinyl decal to a wooden sign like this, I was having a really hard time getting the vinyl to stick. All the little wood fibers were ripping up into the adhesive, and I just couldn't get it to sit smoothly. So the method that works best for me is to stain the wood, then apply a coat of resin and put the vinyl decal on top of that resin layer. And you can always do one more coat of resin over the vinyl for good measure. I personally prefer UV resin, but 2-part resin will work for this as well. Let's do it!
I got this sign in a 2-pack from Michaels. It was like $10 for both, and they came with hardware on the back for hanging, already installed, which is super convenient. The first thing you want to do is stain your sign. We had this stain left over from some home projects, so I just used what I had, but you can use whatever stain you prefer. I've heard you can even make your own stain using instant coffee, and I'm sure Pinterest has a bunch of other ideas for that. I find it easiest just to stick a rag right into the can of stain and wipe it all over the sign, making sure to get the sides and the back and into all the cracks. Make sure you do this outside or in a well-ventilated area, and wear clothes that you don't mind getting stained. The more coats you do, the darker your stain will look. I ended up doing a couple of coats on mine. You just want to make sure you give some time to dry in between your layers because adding more stain while it's still wet won't really do anything. Once you're happy with the color of the wood, you want to let it fully dry, and then the next step is to cover it with a coat of resin, which is going to seal the wood and make it super shiny and weatherproof. I use this UV resin that I bought on Amazon, and it comes with this little nozzle attachment. I apply some of the resin all over, and then I like to use a silicone brush to spread it evenly. And wearing gloves, I also use my fingers to smooth everything out. I prefer UV resin because it cures really fast. Most 2-part resin takes several hours to cure, and you have to mix a couple of parts together and be really meticulous about it. But UV resin you can just use straight out of the bottle, and if you put it outside on a sunny day, it cures literally within minutes. You can also use UV lamps to cure it. I have one that I use for nail polish, and it's perfect for smaller projects. When you're applying the resin, you want to make sure you don't do it in sunlight because it will start curing really quickly. Even doing it in my kitchen here was a bit risky. It's best to do it in a darker room that is well ventilated. Always read the instructions on your resin for best results and so you don't poison yourself. After your layer of resin seems to be nice and even, ideally you would go over the surface with a heat gun to help get rid of any bubbles, but I do not have a heat gun, so I just use a lighter and I run it across the whole surface until it seems good. I did this on a big stiff piece of cardboard so that I could transfer it outside to sit in the sunlight and cure, and truly in just a few minutes it cures completely. Try not to touch it with your fingertips right away when it's freshly cured so that you don't leave any fingerprints in the resin while it's still warm from the sunlight. You want to let it cool down a bit inside before handling it. And now your sign is in much better condition to apply a vinyl decal. So you can go ahead and cut and apply your vinyl the same way you would on any other surface. There are lots of permanent vinyls you can use that claim to be weatherproof for like 6 years. So you can apply that kind of vinyl and be good to go, or you can even do one more layer of resin over top of the vinyl after you've applied it. And you can also use any type of vinyl you want if you're going to seal it. It doesn't have to be permanent vinyl because the resin will make it permanent.
I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel and leave a comment letting me know what you would like to see next. See you later.